Good morning. So I'm so grateful and happy to be here. I did not know that I was actually opening up this call. So sorry. We had it, all planned. We had a song going on, and but anyways, I am so excited. I feel so grateful and so blessed to be here with all of you today. And I saw all your messages with Happy Good Friday. Happy Good Friday. What an amazing day it is. Like, can you be any more thankful? Today is an amazing day. And I've never done this. So if I flubber around because I didn't know that I was doing the leaderboards, then just bear with me. So I'm going to go ahead and let me just, but before I open up, I would like to know if Chris or John Paul, I know that you always have something great to share, John Paul and Chris. So if you'd like to go ahead and open up with some great words of wisdom, inspiration, or just, show your awesomeness, please do so now.
Come on, don't put me on the spot now. I don't know if I can live up to all that hype.
No, I'm on the spot.
No, I would just like to say, just in general, for the group and the team, just how grateful I am, for everyone on this journey, and with the holiday upon us, and just in reflection and being grateful for everything that we have in this opportunity. I just want to make sure that everyone knows just how important you are to this journey for all of us, and into your own and for your own families. And so just gratitude in that regard. And then also just wanted to remind everybody, this is a 5-week turn-in, just to keep that in mind for the month of April. So although we finished this first week till the day, and part of it through Wednesday was technically March, but it's actually the first week of a 5-week turn-in for April. So don't remember. Excuse me, my allergies are getting me. I apologize. I don't remember if we had called that out on the previous calls. I know several of us have talked about that individually, but just want to make sure we remember that, and take advantage of it, right? So you've got a lot of the momentum coming out of conference, and we have so many great new people on this team right now, and folks coming into the mix and really finding their own. And so definitely want to take advantage of that in addition to the 5-week turn-in, and really just encourage everyone to make this your personal best month ever. If you saw, those of you that were on the Jacob Pogue hierarchy call yesterday, there were so many people who set personal records across the boards throughout his organization. And as a result, that all rolls up so everyone sets record performances. But that's only a direct a result of making an impact in people's lives and helping folks, and then bringing new people into this opportunity so that they can then touch and help other people as well. So that's really all I had for this morning. Specifically, Stella, I know you're going to crush it, so go get them, girl, and appreciate you. Chris?
Yeah. Hey, excited to see everybody on here, smiling faces, ready for a great call Stella's going to put on here just in a minute. I did kind of throw her in the fire a little bit, but this is kind of a new AO initiation, just kind of throwing you off the cliff and letting you see how you do. So, and I know she's going to do a great call. She's done several of these. So, yeah, just to echo what John Paul said, man, just, coming out of conference and all the great things and stories that we heard, just grateful, so grateful for each and every one of you who are on the call here and the journey that we're on together. Excited about this year, especially now that we've got some really high level content under our belt from conference, and excited for the for these teams and each and every one of you on the call. So let's go make 2020 your year. Stella, I'll help you out a little bit. I'll actually kick off leaderboards with a couple that you don't have. I went ahead and pulled our agency leaderboards. And the reason I want to do that as part of the announcements, I want to give a big shout out here. But let's real quickly. So I'm going to do something a little bit new this morning. there's one, and I haven't done this before, but I'm going to start doing this because this is part of the recruiting aspect. There's several people on the team that are building. We have 2 agency owners, Stella and John Paul, but we have others who are moving towards that goal as well. So we actually have a leaderboard that I actually haven't pulled before, but I decided to pull it. We're going to start doing this at the end of the month. We're going to do a leaderboard called Upline Manager. Upline meaning if you have somebody who you have recruited into the business, your numbers are now not just you, but you and your team. And it doesn't matter if it's you and one other person. That doesn't matter. You are now a team moving forward. So obviously, the bigger the better. But hey, I want to call out people who have teams here, and even if it's just one recruit who's written one application, that's the right step in the right direction. So for the month of March, let's call out our upline managers. Marcus Williams' team had 2 applications for $1,298. Terry Myers had 1 application, the team application for $1,935. Natalie had 5 applications, $6,057 as a team. Great job. Eric Sullivan, 15 applications. Numbers start going up here, $10,012. Spencer Cushion, 12 applications as a team, $11,019. Stella Dinwiddie, 28 applications, $14,566. Great job. John Paul Vetter, app count lead, 65 applications and $64,970. And then my base shop, 52 applications, or my upline rather, I'm an upline manager, 52 applications, $69,390. So guys, those are all teams that are taking off. So again, I don't care if it's one application from your team and one rider. That's the first step. Keep taking those steps. So a big shout out to all those folks. Also, agency managers. So again, there's 3 of us on the call here who are actually have achieved the level of agency manager. Number 3, Stella Dinwiddie. They had 41 applications as an agency, $26,095. My agency, which is my base shop, we had 34 applications, $40,617. Number 1 last month, the John Paul Vetter Agency, 105 applications, guys. That is monster. 105 applications, $112,534. A huge shout out to that group. That they are on fire, and that's why I wanted to highlight that month of March. Man, they went out and crushed it, and you can see it in the numbers. So shout out to John Paul and what they're accomplishing. So. Great job. Stella, I will turn the call over to you to go ahead and pick up the weekly and monthly leaderboards for production.
All righty then. So I'm so excited to see this. I saw you send this, and it's really amazing because we had some new writers this past week for, let me just go through, let me find, where is this at, April? Okay, so this one is for this past week. We've got, am I doing the top 10, Chris, is that right? Top 10, or should I outline everybody? Because, I mean, gosh.
Go ahead and do top 10, and then, yeah, let's go ahead and call out the new writers and their upline for getting new applications in.
All right, very good. So for this past week, we had Eric Sullivan, 1 app for $13.92. Brad Higgins, I think you're a new writer. Is that a new writer? It's highlighted.
Brad Higgins is on Eric Sullivan's team. So that's Brad Higgins is the new writer, and Eric Sullivan is the upline.
Woo! Nice job there. Congratulations, Brad, because you write 1, you can write 2, and you got a business, and you'll see many more to come. So 1 app for $15.36. Stacy Love in number 8, 1 app for $21.44. And I'm sorry, Stacy Love, she's a new writer. I saw that under Donna Bates. Way to go, Bates team. I had 3 apps for $2,356, direct to Chris. Jennifer Gray, 6 apps for $3,123 to John Paul Vetter. Way to go. Your lead looks like you led an app lead this last week. Lionel Anderson, 3 apps for $3,251 to John Paul Vetter. Jerry Ponce, love seeing your name up there. That is amazing, my friend. You had 4 apps for $3,352. Way to go, Jerry. And Spencer, it says Blair, but I'm thinking that's Spencer Kushnian. 3 apps, $3,939. He's the consistent one. Way to go there, Spencer. Direct to Chris. And Eva Bowman, you are number 2 in the lead this week with 5 applications, just shy under Jenny, for $4,666. What a turnaround. I'm so proud of you. I'm just so proud of you. And I know every one of you that wrote here, amazing job. I don't care if it was 1 application, because you're building that consistency. Angel Baden-Gooden, the part of the Cajun Connection, I see 1 app yesterday for $5,792. You are in the lead so far this week. To John Paul Vetter. Woo! Oh my gosh, that's amazing. How exciting for you. But you know, it's Friday, and you know what that means, that this week ain't over yet. So so be on the watch out for that. And then we have, for the month of March, top 10, we have Miss Terry Myers. Man, 19 applications. That is amazing. She's our app girl. 7,326. Number 9, Eric Sullivan with 4 apps for 7,395. Miss Beautiful Natalie Sabrina Hermit, 11 applications for 9,080. I'm sorry, I'm not saying who they're direct to. Terry, direct to me. Eric, direct to John Paul Vetter. Natalie, direct to Eric's part of that Sullivan Power team. Spencer Kushian, 7 applications for 8,568, direct to Chris, the man, the rad man. Stella Dinwiddie herself, writing 12 applications for 9,593, direct to the rad man, Chris. And Ellis Hubbard, man, I love seeing your name up there, buddy. 5 applications for $9,811 to nobody but John Paul Vetter, the power man himself. And Donna Bates, 12 applications for $11,018, direct to Spencer Kushian. And Andy McKinley, man, 15 applications for $21,000. Okay, so the next 3 all hit above the 20,000 mark, which I'm getting back up there because this is too exciting. Andy, you have 15 apps for $21,030, direct to the rad man, Chris. John Paul Vetter, you had 18 apps. You're no stranger to this man. $30,000 and 197, direct to the rad man, Chris. And number 1, Jennifer Gray, you had 35 applications. That's more than an app a day for $31,615. I'm so sorry. I just get so excited over those kinds of numbers because I love those numbers. I remember those numbers. That's amazing, Jennifer. You go, girl. Jenny on the block, she is. So I think that's it for the leaderboards. Am I missing anything?
Only one last thing I will mention is last week after our team call, again, Friday is a great day to turn in additional business, and a shout out to Donna Bates, who had 1 application for $1,548 after hours before the Friday midnight cutoff. So great job, Donna, putting in some last minute business.
Awesome. Awesome. You know, every one of you who wrote even 1 application, give yourself a pat on the back because, you know, that's just the start of building your momentum. We're going to talk about that today. Is there anything else that you want me to cover, Chris, before I head into talking about the power of momentum?
No, let's take it. Let's get the momentum going. Take it away.
All right. Awesome. Well, again, you know, thank you so much for having me here. I just get so excited. I love being in here. I love being here with all of you. I feel so grateful, so blessed, you know, just to be here in your presence today. It is such an honor. I can't tell you how much. And I'm so thankful to you, Mr. Radman, Chris, who you've guided me here, to being here where I am today. And all the while, being real and honest with me and, what that takes to produce and build here. And so, all of that, takes, 4 things that Mr. Scott Make, said. And he said he wrote it down. And that guy's at 120%. And that guy's a man of action. So I keep it by my computer. And the 4 words are, he said Marshall Whalen told him to focus on 4 words throughout his journey here. And it was focus, activity, consistency, and momentum. And momentum is my favorite one. I love it because anybody can do it. You don't need to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to write like John Paul Vetter. You don't have to be here, 10 years. Anybody can build momentum. And before I go into it, I just want to, I wanted to quickly mention to you a story that happened last night with my son. For any of you that are, new here, and why I'm so grateful every single day, and why I just hope and pray that you find in your heart every single day that what you do here for families, that you can find that thankfulness, that gratefulness. So I've been, kind of all over the board working a lot lately, and building and producing, but more on the building side. And I've been a little bit out of balance because I've been taking care of a bunch of other things. And last night, my son Michael, who he'll be, joining us more this summer once he graduates from high school. But he said, he was like, Mom, I haven't been able to see you much, and we had this real heart-to-heart talk. And he said, I'm going to be leaving for college next year. And I'm worried that, I'm not going to see you as much. And I mean, I can't believe the words that come out of this kid's mouth. He says, I'm just worried, that your cancer is going to come back. And, and they say this and that about, that it can come back with a force in, 5 years, 10 years. And I don't want to be gone at college. And then, and all it is, that I get, it's just a birthday card with us, or a Christmas phone call, or a visit. He goes, I want this last, 6 months, I really want us to, to try to spend some more time together. And, it really made me reflect, because we talk about our schedules here. And I know this is a little off topic, but it was so powerful that I just really wanted to bring it into our conversation today, because it was like an epiphany of, wow, you know what? I have deviated from my schedule. I have gotten into letting myself get pulled away in a ton of different directions on just the need of the moment, with whether it's my team or a carrier or whatever it is. And I have my schedule, but I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to really defining my schedule. And if any of you out there are feeling like that, and the reason I bring this up is because we have so many builders. I know that, I hear about it. You just talked about all the builders here. So any of you that are building, I'm going to encourage you and challenge you to do what I'm going back to doing. And that is a strict schedule. And that means when I put my dial time, I'm not answering my phone. I'm not responding to a text. I am just focused on dialing, so that I can make sure that I take care of myself and my family, and that I'm not, just trying to work everything in through the day, even though I have a schedule. That is, when I did that before, I had so much more balance, and I told my kids, I said, you know what, we're going to take out our calendar, my schedule, mom's schedule, and we're going to write in there, the times that we'll have dinner together, or we'll have, a night together, or whatever we're doing together, dinner time, whatever it is. I'm going to make sure that that's blocked off. And when I go back, I will write into my schedule, my dial time, my appointment time, and my recruiting time. In yesterday, Scott Mank, if you guys were on that call, that PODE call, that was so powerful, so amazing, because they talked about that, and it was like a light bulb went off. And that's what I love about these calls. And hopefully some light bulbs will go off for some of you today. But they talked about that, how Jacob and Scott in the beginning of their journey, while they're still producing, but you're building, and you're trying to take care of all these different moving parts, and we all have families, and we all have, other personal goals, whether it's exercise, reading, self-development, because you never, ever want to dismiss your self-development, because you got to take care of yourself first. But that was just so huge to me. So, and it all really ties in with momentum, okay? Because really, the challenge that I wanted to give to you is to block off that time. Really go back to your schedule, go back to your calendar, and look and see, okay, what do you have designated as your true dial time? For some of you brand new, even 2 hours a day, like put a timer on your phone and just put your head down and dial. And don't worry about, anything else. Just be concerned with getting that time in to dial. I promise you things will fall into place. Do that for 2 hours a day. If you say, yeah, I used to work full time, I want to do this full time, 2 hours a day is 5 days a week, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's only 10 hours. Think about it. So do 2 hours a day, morning, of dialing, and or whatever other time that you have in your schedule, the prime times we say Friday night and Saturday morning, but do that. Make sure you have that. And then, schedule in, everything else. But that was my challenge. So, and that's how you're going to build momentum, because really, what is momentum? I pulled up definitions. From its definition, it's the strength, or force that something has, when it's moving, the strength or force that allows something to continue or to grow faster or stronger as time passes, and in physics, it's the property that a moving object has due to its mass and its motion. Okay. So on here, oh, and by the way, I meant to mention, sorry, when I had my talk with my son, I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm super healthy. I'm super focused. I take really good care of myself. I meant to mention that part, sorry. But anyways, so momentum, what I feel like, it's a process that you build upon again and again and again and again and again, until it builds, to such a strong and fast force that it has an energy of its own, like a snowball. It rolls and it rolls again and it rolls again, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That is momentum. And I love listening to all of my motivating speakers, that I learned from, like Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, John Maxwell. And Tony Robbins has this to say about momentum: it starts with action. But what causes you to take action? Like, it's your why. We hear oftentimes it's the why that makes you cry, right? Like, why are you here? Why would you want to take action? What is your why? When maybe it's when you finally say enough is enough, and you make a shift in your thinking to take action. You're like, I had it. Okay. And then what we believe our potential is, is what determines our action. Let me say that again. What we believe in our heart that our potential is what determines our action. And most people, he says, have a belief about, what their potential is, no matter what you tell them. Okay. And that affects how much action they take. And of course, that affects their results. Then ironically, that result reinforces their belief, and their belief is affected by their results. But we can all agree that everyone, has great potential, right? Absolutely. But as an example, if a person, takes a little bit of action, that's going to produce little results. And this creates a problem with their belief, because if you believe that there's little potential in yourself, how much action are you going to take? Probably just a little. Okay. And when you take a little potential plus a little action, what kind of results are you going to get? You're going to get lousy little results. And when you have lousy little results, what does that do to your belief? You say, I see, this doesn't work. I knew I told you I can't do it. The system doesn't work. I can't do this. I can't make appointments like so-and-so. I can't, I can't, blah, 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 blah. I can't. And then you tap into even less potential, so you take less action and you get even, less results. You get worse results. And you know what happens to your belief? It gets weaker. And this sucker feeds on itself until you're in a downward spiral. It's poisonous and it's self-fulfilling. They're like dangerous weeds, growing in your head. So now what if something came along, and filled you with absolute certainty? Not like, I believe I can, but like, when you know with certainty, full certainty, that this is going to work. Like, you say to yourself, I know I can do this. I'm going to find a way to make this work. And if it doesn't work, I'll make a way for it to work because I know I can figure this out. You've heard them say, stick it out till you figure it out. So then you tap into a lot more potential. And when you're certain of your potential, like maybe it is, you get on the phone, you start making dials, you start making a couple appointments, you're like, ooh, I can do this. Then you start taking more action and you get more excited and you make more dials and, you take massive action. And when you take massive action, your brain says, see, I told you you can do this. I told you it would work out. And now you're even stronger. Like your confidence comes out and you tap into more potential that's inside of you already. It's always been there. And it motivates you to take greater action and you have greater results. That's how you hear about taking massive action. Okay, starting with, self-development of ourselves. You got to train your brain every day, so you got to be stronger than a bad day, Brandon says. I love that saying because we're all going to have bad days no matter what you do. I don't care what you do. You're going to have, life happens. So, you got to learn how to turn that around. And the cool thing is that you can train your brain to do that. And, have a servant attitude. You want to go out there and help families, with dialing, and increase your appointments. When you increase your appointments, it builds your skill set. Okay, you got to start somewhere. You don't have to be good to start. You just have to start to be good. And when you build your skill set, you learn how to help more families. And when you start helping a family like Angel Gooding, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, yesterday, man, I'll bet you felt like on top of the world last night. And I remember how, that felt, my first apps, my first big apps, those are amazing. And it builds your confidence and it increases because, your results continue to get greater. So you keep tapping into more potential and it grows and grows. And then what seemed impossible, where maybe you first started and you're like, oh gosh, how can I make 8 appointments, 20 appointments? What seemed impossible, all of a sudden you're doing it, and it's possible. And then we push ourselves further, we become stronger. And that's how we build momentum. And John Maxwell has this to say about it. I love this story. He says, to be a successful leader, you got to lead by example. And by that, a great leader creates momentum. Our founders, they all do, such a great job of creating momentum, helping us to continue to produce, with support and encouragement by all of our testimonies, because the numbers on those leaderboards, they don't lie. Like everybody does it. So if you're finding yourself like, why can't I do it? Don't ask yourself that. Instead, write this down. How can I? How can I do this? And put it on your wall. Put it somewhere where you can see it. So like Jim Rohn says, let it be your silent seminar, whatever it is that you want to focus on, to help you. Okay. But John Maxwell says that momentum, begins to be, a part of your company, and that momentum, it lifts you to a higher level. Momentum is a leader's best friend. He says momentum is the great exaggerator. Like, I love his story that he talks about this, because when you produce results, that creates momentum. Momentum is that great exaggerator, because when you have it, everybody else looks better than they are. But when you don't have it, everybody looks worse than they are. And as a leader, when you begin to get momentum, many good things happen, like all around you. Like, for example, when you have momentum, 80% of the problems are solved alone by momentum alone. In other words, the greatest solver that you have in your company and in your business is momentum. Momentum. Because when things are going well, most of the problems are much easier solved, than if they're not going well. So, like, I'll tell you an example of on momentum, that we've heard before. And I pray that what I have to share about momentum will both impact you and connect you to why it's so important here in our business here. Because I love this other example that John Maxwell gives. He says, if a train is going 60 miles an hour, and it's racing down the track, and it's going super fast, right? And there's a 5-foot wall, it's a 5-foot thick wall in front of it, and that train is coming at 60 miles an hour, it's going to blow right through it. Not a problem, okay? But if that same train is standing still with no action, or maybe just a little action, okay, and it's going on, and there's even just like a little 1-inch thick board in front of it, and it tries to move, it can't move because it doesn't have momentum. And that's a lot like our problems, okay? When we don't have momentum and our productivity or consistency, is down each week, we're not producing a whole lot because we took our foot off the gas, and we didn't stick to our calendar with our dials, making those appointments, and we have a chargeback, or somebody cancels, or they cancel an appointment. It seems like a huge devastating ordeal, and I know this because that happened to me in the beginning of my journey here. Okay. But when you have momentum, when you build a pipeline of business where week in, week out, you're going to help somebody because you're consistently dialing, you're consistently helping people, and your bank account is getting consistent deposits. A chargeback doesn't hurt as much because you have momentum. You have those constant bank deposits, that roll in each week because you're consistently calling people each week and you're consistently helping someone. Even if you didn't help them today, they may come back and say, hey, I want to sign up with that plan now. I can't tell you how many times that happens. So don't get discouraged. If you don't write every single person that you sit with, you're not going to. And I tell people, new people coming on board, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, hey, they're all excited. I'm like, but can you handle rejection? Because that's probably one of the big reasons that people don't last years. They just can't handle the rejection or the mundane of maintaining that momentum of dialing each week. I love it. I've learned to love it. And I've learned to be so grateful for it. And I would encourage you to, look at not the mundane of it, but what you are able to do out of it, helping those families. So, and when you have, more appointments, and one or two, cancel or no show, it doesn't hurt you because you have momentum knowing that you've got, many others waiting for you to help them. And remember when we talked about how Tony Robbins said, either we dip into our potential in a big or small way. Well, This is how it all makes a difference. Okay. And I just encourage you all to do just one thing every day that pushes you in the direction of your goal, because that's going to help you create momentum. There's for me, one of my silent seminars, because I get really excited about wanting to do everything. And so for me, where did I put it at? I wrote it down. I moved my office around, but the one thing that I have written up on my wall is, what is the one thing that I could do today that would make the rest of my week easier, or other things unnecessary? And I will ask you that, just do, one thing every day to start building your momentum, because you will watch it grow right in front of you. And I want you to ask yourself, if you knew you wouldn't fail, what would I do differently? What would you do differently? Like, if you knew you wouldn't fail, like, if, just ask yourself, when you're getting ready to dial, if you knew that you were going to make an appointment, or 5 appointments, or 10 appointments, then you'd probably be more excited about picking up that phone, right? So, think about that. Don't think about you're going to fail, because we all know what you focus on grows. So whatever you focus on is where you're going to lead yourself in the direction. Okay. So remember that, just stay focused on your goals, and find your balance, because that's important. I'm learning that. And remember, what is the why that makes you cry? What is that? I know that sounds, pretty intense. It is, and it should be, because that's what's going to make you passionate about what you do every day. That's what's going to get you out of bed every morning. Why are you here? Why did you first come here? Why do you want to help families? Why do you want to write 10,000 a week? Why? What do you want? Why are you here? That is the why that makes you cry. Okay. And I guarantee you, if you just apply that every day, it builds that momentum. It builds your momentum in your belief. It builds your momentum in your disciplined time. Another example of building that momentum is, we build our pipeline of business every week. So when you start out here, it could be that, maybe you, just wrote, a couple of applications, or maybe you wrote one, or maybe you just made one appointment, or maybe maybe it didn't go your way. So what? Things take time to build. Okay. Nothing happens overnight. And so some good examples, I made a couple of notes to myself, because I thought about this, and I'm like, how can I really help people understand the beginning of the journey here? Because, it can be a struggle for some that don't see the results right away. Well, you got to build your momentum, and it takes time. It's like, when you, or like, when you're wanting to get in shape, and you want to, you're like, I'm going to exercise every day. Right now, we've got this really awesome Quility 60-day challenge, which I think is totally awesome. Some of you, if you want to get into shape, and you want to get big muscles or whatever it is, if you go out there and lift some weights, on day 1, day 2, you're not going to look in a mirror and see a big, huge difference. You might have, did an hour of sweating, of working out, but you're not going to see your results in 1 day or 2 days. Sometimes not even a week. Sometimes not even 30 days. It just depends on how consistent you are to build that momentum, and then it gets easier. And it may be super hard lifting up those weights that first day, or maybe you're trying to lose weight, and just because you decided, okay, so tonight I'm not going to eat that, greasy hamburger with I'm not going to eat any sugar or whatever it is, you're not going to get on the scale tomorrow and see that you lost 10 pounds, and you're not going to see it in a week. And you're not going to see it sometimes, maybe even a month. Maybe it might take, maybe it's a gradual losing of weight, and you'll see it over 90 days. Same thing with building. You know, we get really excited when we have new people on our teams, but you're not going to see it right away. You know, like Chris was saying on that poke call yesterday, it takes time. You know, it takes time for everybody to build their own momentum too. So I hope that I really drove home about how important momentum is, because I love momentum. And I hope that, you know, you are able to really search in your soul to find what it's going to take in you to build your own momentum, because everybody's different here. Everybody's journey is different. But I'm grateful to be able to share that with you today. And I thank you for letting me share my heart with you. I love you guys. You guys are all amazing. I know it's a little early, but that's okay, because many of us have a big, long list of what we want to accomplish today. My list can be 100 things long. So I really, you know, just got to stay focused. And I'm really excited for what's to come. I'm so excited for what I'm seeing here with everybody. Man, it's just amazing. So what you're all doing, you know, keep it up. If you're following what the system says, don't feel frustrated. Don't feel like, gosh, I'm doing what they're telling me to do and I just don't see the results. It's okay to feel like that in the beginning. I remember a long time ago having those thoughts. And when I was writing some notes, you know, it came to fruition in my head. So I just want to encourage you. It's okay. Just stay at it. Just keep at it and you will build your momentum. I promise you. So thank you.
Awesome. Great job, Stella. That was fantastic. Couple of highlights, man. I needed to hear this call myself. You know, a couple things that I heard Stella say: momentum is a process. I love that. You know, we think, you know, just our microwave mindset. You know, I say we're a microwave society. We want to be able to throw in a box, hit a button, 30 seconds, it comes out piping hot. And that's not how this business works. That's not how life works. You know, I mean, we're spoiled a little bit with the conveniences of life, but that definitely not how this business works. So great concept there. Starts with action. And I love, in fact, it's funny, Stella, I wrote that down, starts with action. Right below it, I wrote down laws of physics. You know, and you went, you know, later on, you went to, you know, the analogy of the train, you know, the train and the physics of momentum versus standing still. That's awesome. And one thing, and you know, this is probably one of the biggest things that I took away. What we believe our potential is determines our action, and that is why, guys, it's so critical. And in fact, I'm kind of sitting here, you know, wagging a finger at myself, because positive mindset, you have to feed your brain. And I'll have to be honest, I've been reading some stuff, I've been listening to some stuff, I've been a little lazy here lately. And that's, you know, it happens, you know, it happens, but you can't continue down that path. You got to get back to what we know that works. So much of belief and so much of success and so much of momentum starts with what you're feeding your brain. You know, so, you know, I'm recommitting to, you know, getting back to that positive material. You know, you look at, you know, the books like Happiness Advantage or Hardwiring Happiness. The core of those messages are what you put into your brain. You know, Napoleon Hill, you know, Think and Grow Rich, what you believe you can achieve. But it all starts with that, you know, that feeding of the mind. And like I said, just, you know, a little confession, I've been a little lax on that here lately. So, you know, it's good to have a call like this, just to call that out, and then look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? Okay, we got to get back to basics. It's a great job, Stella. I mean, that's a phenomenal call. Great timing, perfect. Coming out of conference, you know, capturing that training, that inspiration, and turning that into momentum through action. So hats off to Stella for leading a call this morning with a great message. Guys, like she said, you know, have a great holiday weekend. 5-week turn-in, as John Paul mentioned, that is very critical for those who are building a team, building an organization. How that 5-week really counts is in the number of riders that you have on your team. So keep in mind, team leader, yourself and 2 other people riding business, you qualify for team leader. Agency owner, key leader, yourself and 3 other people. And doing, guys, help me out. We changed I think it's 20,000 of APD, or is it 15?
20.
20. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's the new guidelines. So key leader, and then agency owner, 6 riders. Issue paying 30,000 a month for 3 months in a row. So it's important to know those guidelines, because again, as with momentum, it takes little steps over and over again. So if you're building an organization, I call it, this is why we did the leaderboards this morning with upline managers. Several of you are probably just a step or 2 away, or maybe not, maybe even hitting team leader. Guys, that's huge. It's 2 riders, but that's a small stone that's placed, for you to step up to key leader, which is the next stone to step up to agency owner, and then beyond. So, we want to highlight that. You want to highlight that for yourself. You want to highlight that for your goals and for your momentum. So. All right, great job, Stella. We are going to wrap up the call, and very timely. She got a lot in a short period of time. So you guys bonus by about an extra 15 minutes on your day. So let's go get it. Thank you all. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your Easter weekend.